As we begin our study this week, we're going to continue studying the grammatical research, the grammatical interpretation of Scripture. And as we continue looking at the grammatical research project, there are three areas that we've been discussing in grammatical research. Area number one is the syntactical study. And that's the study where we're studying the sentence structure. We talked about that last week a little bit there, of breaking down the independent clauses and the dependent clauses and finding those modifying clauses that form the points of our lesson or what we're teaching, and helps us interpret by breaking down the scriptures in a syntactical structure. And you have sent in to me a syntactical study of the Romans passage there, and I'm beginning to understand what it means to do a syntactical study and syntactical research. We've also looked at lexical study and lexical research, and that's dictionary, word study. And a word study or a dictionary study gives us two major areas when we're studying the scriptures. Number one, a lexical study gives us a range of meanings. In other words, when we look up a word in the text, we will see that that word has a range of meanings. So the dictionary doesn't give us what the meaning of that word is. The dictionary actually gives us a range of meanings for that word. So we look up a dictionary and find the range of meanings, but the context that we're reading will give us the full meaning of that word. But a lexical study also gives us the parts of speech. Whether that word's a noun or a verb or a conjunction or a preposition, this is what the parts of speech tell us, and a dictionary gives us the part of speech of a word. So the lexical study will help us do that syntactical study even better, because when we look at the dictionary and we're trying to find that subordinating conjunction, you may not know if that's a subordinating conjunction or not, but if you look at the word up in a dictionary or a lexicon, it's going to tell you that is actually a conjunction or a preposition, and that'll help you do the syntactical structural analysis. This week we're going to talk about the morphological study, and that's how words change. So when we do morphological research, we're going to learn that nouns change and verbs change. So first of all, we're going to look at the different ways a noun can change. And most often this is called cases of a noun. And if you'll walk with me, there are various cases. Number one, there's the nominative case. Number two, there's the genitive case. Number three, there's the ablative case. Number four, there's the locative case. Number three, the instrumental case. Number six, the dative case. Number seven, the accusative case, and then the vocative case. Now you say, well, I've never heard of those cases. Well, those are in Greek, those are in Latin, and those are in different languages. But even in English, we have these different ways we use nouns. The nominative case is the subject case. So when we use the word man as a subject, it's in the nominative case. The genitive case is a descriptive case. So when we use the word man in the genitive case, we actually say of the man. So the pencil of the man, that's describing what kind of pencil it is. It's the pencil of the man. So the word man in English changes or morphs to of the man. In the ablative case, that's when we do separation. So he took the pencil from the man. So see, man has morphed from subject to the object of the preposition of, describing, to separating from the man. The case of location is the locative case. In English, we change the word man and put it in the prepositional phrase, and we say in the man. So location is in the man, on the man, under the man, around the man. That's location. The case of means is what we call the instrumental case. And in English, we put the preposition by the man. So I was taught by the man. which means the man was the instrument that was used to teach. So that's the instrumental case, or the means by the man. The dative case is the case of description. The case of direction to the man. He went to the man for a lesson. So that's the direction he went, and so that's the dative case, and in English we go to the man. The accusative case is a case of limitation, and that's the direct object. So when we use the word man as a direct object, that's the accusative case. He saw the man. Man is a direct object limiting what he saw. So that's why it's called the case of limitation. So the direct object is limitation. The vocative case is just the direct address. We don't use it much in English or in any other language really for that matter, but it's the case where we say, hey man, or oh, the direct address. So those are the cases in nouns. To help you understand how this works in different languages, because again, you're going to be studying a Bible, and that Bible is written in Greek, I'll show you how that works in Greek. In English, nominative case, subject, we say house. If it's genitive, we say of the house. If it's ablative, we say from the house. If it's locative, we say in the house. If it's instrumental, we say by the house. If it's dative, we say to the house. If it's accusative, we say house. But let's go back to the nominative case, and I'll show you what happens in Greek and in other languages. The word for house in Greek is oikos. So if Greek is in the nominative case, there's an ending right here where the cursor is there. That ending tells me that's the nominative case. Whereas in Greek, if I say of the house, it changes. Instead of oikos, it goes to oikou. See how that ending changes? So in English, we say three words. In Greek, they say one word. They just change this ending oo, and that means of the house. If we say from the house in Greek, it's also oikou, same ending. How do I know the difference between of the house and from the house? Well, in Greek, you just know by the context it's written in. In Greek, instead of saying in the house, they say oiko. That ending o tells me it's in the house. If I say by the house in Greek, it's the same thing, oiko. If I say direction, dative case, in the Greek, it's the same thing, oiko. But if I use the word house, oikos, in Greek to say direct object, that ending will be oikon. So see, the morphology in Greek, the endings change. In English, you add a preposition. But that means these nouns have morphed from nominative to genitive to ablative to locative to instrumental to dative to accusative. Or if you will, it goes from subject, description, separation, location, means, direction, limitation, and direct address. In English, we add prepositions. In Greek, they add an ending. Os, ou, o, on. That's morphology, how verbs change, how nouns change. But nouns, not only do nouns change, but verbs change also. So in verbs, we have a change, and the verbs change in 5 ways: tense, voice, mood, person, and number. In the tense, we're talking about time and action. So a verb can be either past, present, or future. A verb in the past, like looked, is looked. Present is looking. Future is shall look. In Greek, the word ending changes. Instead of, it's luo, luais. Those endings change in Greek, but it's the same thing, time and action. So verbs change in all languages, past, present, and future. Other languages have other tenses, but in English we have 3 here: past, present, and future. But verbs also change in voice. And the voice of a verb is the relationship between the subject and the action. A verb can be either active, passive, or middle. So the voice of the word, if a verb is active, we say the man ate the apple. That means the man is acting. He ate. But if the verb is passive, we don't say the man ate the apple, but we say the man is being eaten by the apple. So see, the man's not acting, the apple's acting, or the man's being acted upon. So that's a passive voice. The middle voice is intensive. The man himself ate the apple. But these are the relationship between the subject and the action. Now, there's another way verbs change, and that's in mood. And this is a relationship between the action to reality. And there are 4 moods. You have the indicative mood. The action's really happening. The man ate. The subjunctive mood, the man's not eating indicatively. He might eat. So I might eat the apple, or he may eat. That's subjunctive. Optative is the man wishes to eat. That's a little bit further removed from subjunctive. So you got indicative is really happening, subjunctive it might, optative it wishes. The imperative mood is the command. So there are 4 moods. And then a verb will always be in the personal verb is first, second, or third. In other words, first person, I ate the apple. Second person, you ate the apple. Third person, he, she, or it ate the apple. The number of a verb again is singular and plural. I ate the apple is singular. We ate the apple is first person plural. Second person plural, you ate the apple. Second person singular, you ate the apple. Third person singular, he ate the apple. Third person plural, they ate the apple. So singular, plural. So verbs also change in tense, voice, mood, person, and number. And so these issues in morphology is what a morphological study is. So when you're studying verbs in any language, you're studying their tense, voice, mood, person, number, and a morphological study is a study of those areas. So nouns change and verbs change. So that's just a little bit of an overview of what it means when we're talking morphology.